Okay. All right.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I just wanted to take a quick minute to kind of preface and just say thank you to Joe because I had posted something on Table about some inspiration, and then I saw Joe tag a whole bunch of organizational members, and I'm like, all right, I got to reach out to her because we must be on the same wavelength. And so that's what kind of started this snowball effect. And Joe, I thank you so much for kind of getting this you know, sketched out and in process so we can start thinking about our businesses differently. I'm sure we can all agree with the fact that that has helped tremendously. So I just wanted to give it up to you, first of all, to say thank you for kind of laying this path down. Um, and then of course, just like I'm sure you guys have experienced yourself, you take the 7 steps, for example, and you kind of manipulate what works best for you and what doesn't, or maybe you follow it to a T. But I'm more of like, let me get my Lorraine vibe going here. I just feel better about it like that. So anyway, I just wanted to lend it to Joe first and then kind of walk into what I'm going to share next. So basically what we did, Susan and I were chit-chatting about kind of shaping it to kind of our personalities and kind of taking the idea of what Morgan Lee has said and some of the other classes that I've taken on social media training. And the vibe is 1,000% about brevity and getting your point across within the first, 4 to 15 seconds, because that's pretty much all you got with most people. So when I was kind of crafting some of these things up, that was my tone of quick, efficient, and I've actually had 4 hosts last week who all said, wow, this was really easy to do, really easy to read, because I asked them, I prompted them. So that to me is the confirmation that I need. But I think it's always kind of like a work in progress. At least that's how I look at it. So when we look at this, we might find errors. You might find things that you're like, oh, I don't want to do it that way. Just feel free to do whatever you want with it, incorporate it as you choose. So I'm going to just share my screen and just kind of walk through, and just stop me at any point if you're like, whoa, 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 you're going too fast or what have you. Uh, okay. So, can everyone see my screen?
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Lorraine, before we jump in, let me say one more thing. So yes, Joe, you got us prompted on doing this, which has been fabulous. And then what we did was we also went back to like Janelle Little, Janelle Vierick, that we've worked with really in like the last year and a half, have been very, very giving and sharing of all of their information. Um, and kind of they have been table only consultants and very, very successful on them. So we kind of took all of that and kind of merged it in together. And then, yes, Lorraine went in and went chop, 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 and streamlined it all. And I think we've come up with something really great.
Okay. So, yeah, thank you for adding that because I completely forgot about that part of it. So, we for right now, my brain works best in a Google Doc. So once I feel like it's a completely well-oiled machine, then I'll take it to boards. I've already put it into Project Broadcast. But I kind of like to look at things in a Google Doc format versus anything else when I'm developing things. So you guys know how Google Docs work. These are the kind of the tab resources. And then when you see this little arrow, it drops down into other things. So I kind of just started off here at the beginning, just as the resource center, like where you can find the basic stuff, the links and so on. So I just kind of for my brain, I had to kind of say, okay, this is when my parties are going to start. And I think Susan is pretty much in the same wheelhouse.
Hmm.
And so basically, pre-party are these 3 days. That's what I've kind of found that my hosts need to kind of get the ball rolling. So I will say this, I am basically, if somebody calls or somebody messages me today to book a party, we are starting immediately. So this is the ideal situation, but I'm not going to wait to kind of get people started. It's going to be like, hey, we booked today, we're going today. So that's kind of my thought process, and I think Joe kind of mentioned that too. And then Sunday through Wednesday are the party days, and then after that are just any kind of post-party days. So that's kind of how my process is working. Links, all the links that I've referenced in this document are here, so you can take them and use them as you choose. Just a couple things that I found super helpful. I discovered an app called TickTick, and for me, it is thebomb.com, because I have a tendency to create this great reminder system, but I don't always address the reminders. But TickTick has a perpetual reminder, which means that you cannot stop the reminder until you do the task. So you can snooze it, but you can't stop it. And so for me, it was kind of like I need a hammer banging over my head saying, get this done. And what's also nice for me, especially since when I go back to work, is I might not be able to do it when I scheduled it, but I can always snooze it and then, do it after work or what have you. So to me, that's just been an incredible tool to use. I also created this daily checklist, and let me know, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is kind of vast, and again, your head might not work like mine, probably not, but it might help. It might be just kind of like a block for you to use to kind of create your own thing. So this kind of goes over what I'm doing each day. I have this in TickTick, and I also have it here because sometimes my brain works best there, and sometimes my brain works best here. So PF is just the platform where these activities are going to be. So Facebook, Connection Point, Project Broadcast, Table, Consultants Corner, and so on. And then phase is just the phase of the party, whether it's all phases, pre-party phases, party phases, or post-party phases. And then I kind of put the acronyms here, and then this is just my reference for birthday messages. And then I just have some notes and modifications that I might make in the future. So again, these are all just things that work for me and, may work for you as well. You can kind of just mess around with it and see what works best.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So are you doing, like, I see some of them, there were check boxes, and I see some that were checked off. Are you just like unchecking everything and starting over at the beginning of the week?
Yeah, because you can just click here and then just run it straight down, and then it's done, kind of thing.
Got it. Okay.
Obviously you have to highlight it. Yeah, so every week I'm going in and rechanging it. I've only used this actually for 2 solid weeks, so I'm still kind of in the process of it. So yeah, that's how you would do it. Or you could do it. You could print this out too, and then have it for every week. But I need something that's going to go with me, because I'm not always in the same place. Okay. So the way I set up the Canva links, I didn't set them up in a template format, which means that if you edit my Canva links, it's going to change it. So just make sure that you make a copy of anything that you want to use. And all my images are here, which you're going to see in a couple of minutes. And all of my holiday images are here that are the same as my normal images, just with a holiday accent. And then all my project broadcast links are here, my project broadcast campaign, my 80, 50, 30 campaigns. And just to preface this, I need write-offs like crazy. I owe every single solitary year. This is the first year I actually got money back. So I have to keep doing it this way. But my 80, 50, 30 works like this. If I don't have enough bookings next week, I'm offering an $80 incentive. Now, that comes from my garage, not out of my pocket. And the most I've ever spent, because I track it for expenses, is $17.82 on shipping. So they have to have a submitted party in order to get that prize, but that's the prize. If I'm pretty booked for the week and next week, then I'll just do the 30 and the 50s kind of in between. But again, that's just me. I have to do that for tax right purposes. And also I think it's a good incentive. But it's not the end all be all. If the host didn't join her party right away, I have a drip message. So I don't have to think, oh my God, I got to remind her every single day, like Morgan Lee said in her video. And it really made me feel good, because that's how I felt, was like a babysitter. To get these people to join their party, to get these people to invite their friends. So for me to be able to set it and forget it, I'm all about that. So that's what this drip campaign is about. And then this is the Connection Point. If you use Connection Point, that's how I host coach when the party is out of the pre-party phase. So party phase and post-party phases, as well as guest coaching, is in here as well. So you can use that, edit that as you choose. So does that all kind of make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, and again, I might have missed some things, so I'll be adding to this. I can share this with anybody who wants it as well. Okay. So for me, like I mentioned, when the party is booked, we're going full steam ahead. I don't even ask them when they want to book their party. We go right out of the gate. So basically they're going to get a thank you message from me, which again, I try to keep everything to 1 or 2 sentences. There's one message that's longer, but I preface it that way. This is just about getting their information. And then some people do a call, some people don't do a call. I do a video or a voice message. They're both about 60 seconds long. And it's actually, I've had 100 out of 100. All my hosts, every single solitary host has chosen video, and every single solitary host has watched it. And the way I know they watched it is because I put a keyword in there. And if they come back and they're like, okay, I'm ready to invite, I'll be like, oh, great. What keyword did you discover in the video? And a couple have come back like that. And I'm assuming that probably that person didn't watch it, because she then came back about 5 minutes later or so and said, oh, it's 100, which basically is invite 100 people is the concept. So they reply with what they want. And then I took the video and I put it in a landing page. So when they get the message from me, it's here, and then they go to a landing page, and then the voice clip is recorded in Project Broadcast, and it's in the message templates, which I can't figure out a way to share that. So it's exactly like the video, and it's just in a voicemail concept. And then I asked the host for her selfie and ask her to log into Table. So is when she's booked her party, those are the messages that continually go to her in that booking process. So does that make sense?
Yeah. So Lorraine, what if you had somebody that said, I don't want to start right away, I want to start like 2 weeks out? Would you, 2 or 3 weeks out, would you hold this? Like, for instance, I had someone this morning that said, yeah, I want to book, but not till March.
Yeah, I don't, because I've actually taken a lady, she wanted to book for December 4th, and this was just last night. And so I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to send her the video and see what happens. And I've done this a couple of times and it's worked. They just end up going for it and just continue to book. Now, if she specifically said, well, no, this lady did say December, and I said, okay, no problem. So I just took her through all of these steps here. And she's like, well, let's just go ahead and do it. And that's how it worked out for the one last night and the one a couple of weeks ago. But if they did, to answer your question, yes, I'm taking everybody through this no matter when they say they want to book. Then if they say, oh, I'm not ready to book until XYZ, then we will wait on the pre-party coaching. That's just me. Because why? A lot of people don't know what they don't know. You know what I mean? Like sometimes they'll book far out because they think it's going to take forever to do whatever. But I think the excitement comes in when they see the video and they realize the simplicity of it, maybe, or maybe I've just gotten lucky. I don't know. So yes, I'm taking, as soon as they book, they're going through these steps. If they want to hold off, then we would just hold off. But I'm assuming they want to go for it. Okay. So that covers that. All right. And then we have pre-party. So I literally go from party booked straight into pre-party. So that's kind of where the dates, when we say Thursday through Saturday, are the pre-party dates. That could change, which I'm going to be honest, is difficult to manage. So my hope is I can get as many people close to that Thursday start as possible. But I do have a system in place when they don't do that. So like Susan was saying, if someone decides that they want to book further out, then we have 2 processes in place. A person that books close in, so right away, and then a person that books a little further out. Further out for me would be 3 weeks-ish. That's when I would get this set of messages. But most people are booking in close. So then I go straight into the quick coaching process. So again, you don't have to obviously offer anything that I'm offering, but this has been a tone of a lot of successful table people where they will offer an incentive for the number of people that join the party. We heard that from Janelle Little, Janelle Varick, and several other people. So I just kind of went with that thought. And the idea is when 25 people join, they can pick a pan. I don't know about you, but most of my hosts don't even use their half price items, or not many of them. So that usually is where I'll put that pan when 25 join. And I think I had 3 that had over 25 the week before last or last week, one of the two. So it's working. So that I think it's working well so far. I may have want to up it to 30, but we'll see how that goes. If they don't listen to my video or the voice clip, and I have to just persistently nudge them to coach them, then I will send them this message here, which is basically what I cover in the video about inviting 100 people. But it's a 60-second video, and honestly, it's only about a 30-second teachable moment. The first is a hook, the second is the content, and the third is like the call to action. So the meat and potato part of it is only about 30 seconds long. But there's not much I need to know except invite, because if you don't invite, 75 to 100 people, we're not really going to have a great party anyway. So, so that's that. So then, if they listen to the call, they get pick a pan, and message 2, they get the rewards chart, which basically just somebody shared this and I just edited which the way it worked best for me. So this is, I just call this the party success formula. Invite 100 friends, 25 to 35 will join, equals maximum rewards. And then this is the key part of it, which I have to really remind myself to do. But I say to them, I'll check in tonight to celebrate your progress. And I have found that this really is helpful, because at this point in time, they really don't know how to tell, how to find who's in their party. So if I can say, oh my gosh, congratulations, Tara, you already have 5 people in your party. I like to ask them at that point, how many people did you invite to get 5 people? And that way it kind of allows me to say, okay, tomorrow, let's invite X number of people as a result. Maybe they invited 50, but only 5 have shown up so far. So then I try to check again the next day and see if I can celebrate her, because not many people get those attaboys at home. And so this little bit, I think, can be helpful and encourages that progress to continue to invite. So that's the rewards breakdown. And then I give them their invitation. And I tried 2 invitations. I tried a short 1-sentence invitation, and I tried this one. And so what I did is I said, pick the invitation that you wanted. And I did it with about 10 hosts, and 9 out of 10 hosts chose this one here. So I just chucked the 1-sentence one and just started using this. And so it's still pretty brief in the respect of 3 sentences or so. And that's my invitation. And of course, this is a Project Broadcast custom field, which is the table link. And then later that afternoon, this is their business ask. Just asking them again, like business ask number 1, basically, which obviously I'm going to have to change that image. Okay, so does that all make sense?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So you might have said this or not, but I can't remember. So you have, I know that this is in the document, all of your stuff is in there, I know where to find it. So you have all of these things in Project Broadcast?
I do.
So are they like all in, you have to send everything separate. They're all like message templates or something?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, how in the world do you keep it all straight to know what to send to who and when? Like if they're starting different,
I can show you that. It's a little hairy scary, I'll be honest. But it's how I've been doing it. So basically when they start to invite, this is how I put it. I put the date. So let's say, for example, Robin Brewer invited today, 10/31.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's her first pre-party day. Then I would just slide this across, and then that shows me when I need to send the rest of the content and what her days are. So like this is pre-party 1, 2, and 3. So that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, ideally. And this is the first day of the party. This is the first day of the party. And then it goes content from there. Day 1, day 2, day 3, so on and so forth.
Okay.
and the end date. But I don't really like to do it this way. I really don't. But I also feel like I'm afraid to not do it this way, just for the simple fact of striking the iron while it's hot. Like I'm just a firm believer in that. So I'm playing with it, just to kind of be honest. I don't really know which way I'm going to like best, but I do know it is a little challenging. I'll be honest.
Okay.
So I'd rather get to the point where everybody is starting at the same day. But I'm not there yet. So can you guys still see my screen?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So if they booked far out, we're just going through a little bit different, a little bit lengthier process, kind of using the 7 steps concept, what to expect video, and then some planners. But I haven't used this at all yet. But it is there if parties do book out far. So Susan, this might be a place that, you would bring in this kind of content. Pre-party day 5, or excuse me, pre-party day 2. This is giving them an update. So this is their attendance update. High five, we already have X number of people. Our goal is this. Just reminding them to invite 75 to 100. And this is just something I'm doing because I'm really just trying to analyze numbers and metrics and things like that. I pretty much know this already, so I probably can delete this, but I was doing this in the beginning because I wanted to see if they did invite 75 to 100, are we really getting 25 to 35 in the party? And that is pretty much what's happening. So I could probably eliminate this, but I just kind of put this in there just because I want them to keep a list, because how are they going to remember who to remind and all that kind of other stuff? So I think it's still a good idea. And if they share their list with me, screenshot showing me they invited 75 to 100, which I've only had one person do, then they get a pantry item. And then this is just a little reminder about when 25 friends join your party, they can pick a pan. Then I give them the invitation again, because essentially I don't want them to have to fish for it. I had so many people say, oh, where's the invitation? I'm thinking, my God, it only could be 2 messages up. So just to eliminate that headache, I just gave them the invitation again. And I just noticed I probably need to put a little remark here because it doesn't say that. I don't think it says. Yeah, I need to put a little remark here saying, I'm going to change this, but here's the invite again. That's why I'm saying things are ever changing, because you think you have everything, but then you realize you're missing something. So if they didn't join the party, or if no one joined the party, host didn't join or no one joined, then I'll just send these messages to continue to remind them to join or continue to invite or what have you. Saturday is just another update saying this is how many people you have in the party. This is also showing them how to find where to communicate with their guest, or where to find out where their guests are, and then also how to post in Table Talk. I've only had one host do it so far, but I'm going to keep it there and just see if we can continue to encourage that. And then this is the post that we're having them put in the party. It's just the same post that's really in the 7 steps with a little ad, and that's it. And then if she didn't join, host didn't invite, these messages go out to them. So it's very, very brief. And I like that. I even think it could probably be even cut down further. But I'm sticking with this for a while and see how things go. It's working. So that is the pre-party. So any questions there? Are you guys here?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep,
I
yep.
can't see you, so
Yep.
I can't. I wasn't sure. I'm sorry. Okay. Then into the party, which starts on Sunday, ends on Thursday. Now, this is where, thank God, it gets automated. So all of this is done for me in Connection Point. So I don't, and you could do this in Project Broadcast too, just set it up as a campaign. But all of this is automated. So from this point forward, it's kind of like I can take off that jacket and just focus more on the other parties that are rolling or what have you. So day 1 is just reminding reminder messages, 2 quick things to do today, remind their friends, and then also having them figure out where their friends are in table. And then I'm also giving them a wall post to put on Facebook. I don't know how effective it is, but a lot of people don't know about the Blue Man tag. So if they put a post on their Facebook wall, before they post, they can click the Blue Man and tag 99 friends. I ask them also to tag me as well, which gives me the indicator if they're actually doing what I'm asking. And that's that. So this is the message that they post on their Facebook wall. So that's what they do on day one. And again, that's all automated. Second day is another post on their Facebook wall. And this is just a little bit different concept, a little bit different way of talking about joining. And then it's a different link. It's the actual table link, where the other one was something different. And then encouraging them to go to their host dashboard. One thing I didn't add in here that I actually just did yesterday, we were kind of talking about this, Susan and I, yesterday, and a lot of a lot of table people ask for their wish list, and I used to do the same thing, and I would get maybe like 3 out of 10 kind of thing, so very few. So I thought to myself, okay, when I set them up, if I just ask them a quick question of, if I gave you a $200 coupon, what are 1 or 2 things that you would get? And this lady, 2 of the ladies that I booked yesterday, both came back with, came back with the air fryer, which obviously is a little bit above that. And some other lady said the stoneware starter set. So for me, again, I think it's quick stuff. I'm really, really keeping my head wrapped around some of the things I've learned in social media training. And then also what Morgan Lee said, I'm really resonating with her. Just quick, to the point. Nobody has time to read tons of stuff. When you have them, strike the iron. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's what's working for me. So I still have to develop that, which I need to make a note here and put that into the content.
I think we stuck that, and I'm just looking at the other document. We stuck it in like in the pre-party wording.
Yes. I had created an image for it yesterday, and I just forgot to put it in there. So I'll work on that today or later. Let's see. Day 3 is the host booking challenge. And I realized I forgot to put the image in here, but it's in Connection Point. It's called the Party Perk Alert. And basically it's just offering the opportunity for them to reach out to friends to do the host booking challenge. And initially I was going to just put the message in there, meaning like, okay, I'm going to make the assumption that they're going to do the host booking challenge. So I'll just put the message in there. And then I decided, no, I don't want to do that, because I'd rather have a conversation with her about the host booking challenge. And so I leave it here. I have some wording that works well, want me to send it over. So it could be either way, but that is what I'm doing for now. And then I'm just going to give them this message if they reply. Then final reminders to their guest. This is just a reminder message, encouraging them to do a reminder message to their friends. There's also, it's not showing here because this is not the guest coaching part, but the host and the guest get a recruiting ask on day 3, I think. So there is another recruiting ask with the host as well. So the guest and the host are getting that message. But this is just the final reminder to the guest it's a final reminder for the host to ask the guests about ordering if they haven't already done so. And then this is the message that I'm encouraging her to use. Day 5, which would be Thursday, is the $25 product challenge, which we all know how that works. And then this is the message. And then the image is different. You'll see the image is different in the Canva link that I gave you. And then post party is day 6. And this is just encouraging her to open up her host dashboard again and kind of working with the way Tiffany did her host reward buckets. And then the final business ask. So we have 4 business asks through the coaching process. So essentially, if you want to do the 5th and the 6th, you could certainly add those in. But this is just saying, before you use your perks, do you want to take advantage of the kit credit kind of thing? And then unqualified parties, I'm just using the stuff from the 7 steps. So I haven't added that yet, but I'll probably just put a link here for the 7 steps. That way it's just easy to go in there and grab it. And then the final wrap up is day 9, which equals out to be, I think, Monday. And it's just like, are we waiting on any more orders? Hope you had a great weekend. Let's kind of wrap up the party. And that's that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So what is the reasoning on doing Sunday to Thursday versus like Monday through Friday?
None. Just just I don't know. Susan and I were discussing it. And I don't know why we came up with that, but we did. Do you remember why?
You know what? We basically went off of Janelle Vierix, how she had hers done and how everybody, like just how some of the other ones were doing. We figured that if we had them start inviting on Thursday, which was like give them 3 days, and then also on Sunday, a lot of people are home looking at their phones. It would be a good day to just, have that. For me, I'm still setting them up as like, let's get you started on Friday because technically it's open. As far as it being considered the party day, I see that more as that's when I'm going to start adding some extra content into table.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So those couple days like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, when she's really focused on, we have considered the pre-party, she's focused on inviting. I'm not necessarily adding new things in, but on Sunday, that's when I'll start some tabletop, some extra games and things like that. So it just kind of gets the ball rolling on it. And then Friday is kind of like you're wrapping up with your host and the links are open through the weekend.
Oh, and I'm glad you said that, Susan, because I did forget to share that part. So what I did is I also took I'm a little excessive, so do what you want. But this is my pre-party, this is my party days. So the content is all sitting here. So I can just wrap my head around because I realized I actually was talking about the business 3 days in a row. So I skipped some things around. But every day I have 1 or 2 personal videos and trying to convert over to the way Morgan Lee said it, that pretty much everything is her content, minus, what Pampered Chef automatically puts up. But that way I kind of know, okay, before the party even begins, all this stuff is going to be sitting there. I mimicked, or not mimicked, but I took the idea of the early bird video from Janelle Little. So I worked that into my pre-party. So there's a video immediately of me and they see that after the table video. Then I do a welcome day 1 video. These are just a couple of my videos that are on socials. I am going to add another video called Take the Quiz, just referencing back to taking the quiz. And if everyone completes the quiz, now again, this can be potentially risky, but it's never happened. And Morgan Lee says it's never happened for her either. So if you think about Take the Quiz as the survey, she basically says when everyone completes the survey, she gives a large gift. I want to say it was $50, but I was like, I can't do that, or I don't want to do that. So I just do $30 as everybody takes the quiz. But again, it's not even happened one time when I was doing Facebook or when I'm doing table parties. And then I want to add a booking video here. I have a 2 days left to shop video. And then I was just kind of working on other things there. So yeah.
I have a question. I'm always full of questions.
No, that's good.
So when you do all of the content and stuff like that, are they all going on the carousel or are they?
My videos are. All my videos are going on carousel. The rest of them are pretty much going in games.
Okay.
And carousel and games.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually do have one game in the carousel because I was just kind of testing it to see if it got more attraction, because they literally have to open up the carousel they have to open up the fun and games. So I thought, let me just put one on the carousel and let's see if that one gets more attention than the games in the actual fun and game section. But I haven't been able to run that data yet. So
so one question I have is, so I don't even remember who it was. Somebody gave one of the table video trainings that, and I don't even remember who it was. when she was sharing, it was like 2 weeks ago, and she was the one that shared about putting stuff up on the carousel. And I started doing that. I don't have many parties, but I started doing that. And I was like, okay, I kind of like that. I like the idea, but I never got enough like, so if you have the home office stuff up there and then you start adding in your thing, there's only room for so many in the carousel. Does it like drop off the original ones and to make room for the new ones? Does that
I
make
don't
sense?
I don't know that there's a limit. Maybe there is, but I know our content always stays in the front.
Okay.
Does anyone know if there's a limit?
I'm not sure.
I haven't heard that. Did you hear that?
I guess I kept thinking about that. I had heard that from somewhere.
Okay,
That's why
maybe.
they said the one that was doing the one training said she limits what she puts on the carousel.
Well, I do remember, I think that was Janelle Little. She said she tries not to put any static images. I do remember her saying that.
Mhm.
But I don't remember hearing the part about the number of videos. But that would be a great question because
Okay.
that could be a problem for somebody like myself who tries to throw so many things up on the wall and see what sticks. But I really think that the key is just what everyone else, all the other successful table content people were saying was that make it your own.
Mhm.
You need to, have them see you because I always look at it like this. I remember way back in the day, they gave this analogy and they said, okay, imagine walking up to a strip mall and every single store was Pampered Chef. Like, what would differentiate one Pampered Chef store from another? And
Mhm.
so you have to make your storefront captivating. Otherwise, it just looks like everyone else's storefront. And I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but um there is something to that. You know what I mean? Because all of our new consultants are just going to throw up an average storefront, right?
Right.
But if yours looks good, captivating, it could be a reason why somebody says, I'll book over this, or it may make them purchase more because they can relate to it. It's not just this standard, person talking that you can't even see. And a lot of my videos were like that before. And then in some of the social media classes I'm taking, they're like, no, you need to put yourself out there because otherwise it is just a generic video. It's not you. It is you, but they don't see you. So how can they know, and trust you if they're only seeing your hand?
Right.
Duh, I didn't think about it like that. So I've changed almost all of them. I have a few I'm still working on, but all my now new videos, all of them include me because ultimately that's what I'm trying to sell is myself. Um, in a good way. So
Makes
um
sense.
yeah. So I just wanted to highlight just a couple of these just so you can see that this is what you're going to get in that content. And this is where you would just make a copy of it if you like it or change it up if you don't. But I try to get myself in every single one of these. So it would be personal. But it's not like that when it comes to the coaching, but I try to. And so I do have things that are going to change when I go into January. So you'll see different colors for January, but I just tried to make it acclimated towards Christmas. But anyway, you're going to have all of these videos, or excuse me, all of this content that you can work through, and it's in a folder. So you should be able just to make a copy of the folder and go from there. This was, this is the bucket one. So I just changed this up a little bit for the 6 rewards. So that way it's a little bit more clear because when you make a copy of a copy of a copy, it starts to lose its pixel
Mhm.
sharpness. So anyway, again, I think the key to all of this is kind of just grabbing from Joe, grabbing from Janelle, grabbing from us, finding what works, or just take Joe's, mine, or whoever's, and just start rolling with it. And then you're gonna, develop what you feel fits and works best for you. But I am in love with Table. I did have 2 hosts that want to do Facebook, which is I'm so cringed about, but they're both $1,000 hosts and they've done it twice. I mean, they've done it in the past, and they're both want to do it again. So I said I wouldn't do it, but for these very successful hosts, I'm just doing it and just not worrying about it. Just going with the flow.
Now, Lorraine, do
Yeah.
you want to touch on the guest coaching real quick?
Yeah, I can just go into connection point for that.
You are behind on sending those messages.
Well, here's what I do. It's actually strategy. So those are the orders that came in last night. So I leave them there because then I, my other screen, I open up table. So then I can say, okay, I got to thank Martha Stewart or whoever in table, check. Susan, check. Otherwise, I'm like, how am I going to remember who just ordered and how can I thank them? Trust me, it's like,
Well,
as you know, it's
that's a great idea. And congrats for getting all of those orders since yesterday. I think I've had one order in two orders in like 2 weeks. So
oh, well, trust me, that was how it was for me this summer. It was nightmare, nightmare. I didn't think I was going to be able to hold on. Um, where's mine? Okay. So, this is my joint action, which I get a lot of interaction with this, which it's literally 15 minutes after they join the table party, they get this message. And the final question, I'm going to actually shave this down because it's too long. But the final question they get is, thanks for sharing your cell phone number. I'd love to send you a free e-cookbook. Which one would you like? So I send them whatever they choose, which is in a message template in Project Broadcast. So I can just literally click a button and it's there. But every time I send them something, there's a probing question at the bottom. So that way it's not, I can potentially continue the conversation. So dinner's on a dime. I took, this was Becky Adams' idea. So she took all these cookbooks and at the end of every recipe, or at the end of one of the recipes, she would say, my family made this last week and instead of adding 1 clove of garlic, we added 2. Whether that's true, I don't know, but it sounds like a conversation versus here's the cookbook, thanks for messaging me kind of thing. So I've gotten a lot of interaction with this. And then after every one of these, I always have a probing question to hopefully continue the conversation. And it's working for the most part, which I think is the key. And I don't think Lori's here, but one of the things that she had mentioned was that she wants to continue the relationship part of it. And I think that's another way to kind of craft that relationship or build it is through that process.
So, Lorraine, one
Yeah.
quick question. So you're using the join action message for when they join and not, the table message. There's like a table campaign that they could automatically get. You're not doing anything like that. You're just doing this.
No, the only time I use that table text is on the last data order. I'll just use that text, which I don't particularly love it, but it is a great last minute reminder. And I do get some orders that way, but that's the only one I use.
Okay.
Do you do something different? Anybody else?
Well, I had
No.
set it, I had it set up that way when I first started using Connection Point. So it wasn't through the join actions. It was when you go into settings.
Mhm.
I don't know, I'm not on that screen now, but when you go into settings, it imported like the welcome message so that whenever anytime anybody joined, they would get that welcome message. And I was trying to figure out a better way to do it because they were getting the welcome message and then they started getting my guest messages and it never like so
Yeah.
yeah, you don't do that welcome message anymore. So I think I'm going to go and take that off
Yeah.
and add in the join
Yeah.
form,
Because
the
for
join
the most
action
part,
form.
if they're joining early or even on time, they're not getting back-to-back messages for the most part. I find that this join action, it's for those people. Well, it happens for everyone that joins, but I see what you're saying, but it doesn't usually produce back-to-back messages. I guess it could if it falls on the same day that a message template is already going out. But I haven't noticed that it bothered anybody at this point. I don't have very many people that say stop through the party process. I do at the bookings, but not at the party process.
Right.
So for those of you that don't use Connection Point, this little blue guy is the host and this little guy is the guest. So this is where the host coaching continues to go for the host. And then 7 o'clock on Sunday, the guest get my first message, which has that image that I showed you of the $5 quiz. And I tried to shave this message down, but it's the first one. So I just figured, what the heck, I'm just going to keep it as it is. And there's a probing question at the end to hopefully get them to communicate. Monday, there's 2 messages to the host, or excuse me, yeah, 2 messages to the host, which is that Facebook. post. And then on Tuesday, it's the host booking challenge. On Tuesday for the guest, and the host, it's a reminder for Pampered Chef Live. And I just created my own image for that because every time I feel like I copy images over, they look so grainy. So I just don't like that. Day 4 is the reminder message to the host to remind her friends that the party is about to end. Again, another host message, party is wrapping up. This is the Let's Bake It image that I showed you earlier. Then, I lied there. This is the or the recruiting ask for the guest. I actually need to make a note because I want to add the host in that because technically there's only 3 in my content right now. So I wanted to make sure the host is getting another ask. And then Thursday is the $25 challenge with the $25 image. And then this message here is going to the guests that have not ordered. So this is reminding them to take the quiz. And then it talks about the $30 giveaway. If everyone completes the quiz, we'll do a $30 giveaway. Again, never happened. So I feel confident about continuing to push that out. Thursday is the project broadcast campaign that automatically goes out to the guest. And I need to execute those guests that haven't ordered because as soon as my guests place an order, they get a thank you. And then they go straight into a booking campaign because Morgan Lee kind of said, well, for those of you that listen, Morgan Lee basically said, put your booking ask right with your thank you. So I do it like 20 minutes after. So I send the thank you. And then 20 minutes after, I kind of say, oh, so sorry, my menopause brain forgot to add this. And it sounds fairly real, I guess, because it's working.
So,
Go
all
ahead.
right, I got another question.
No, go ahead.
What is the advantage to adding a project broadcast campaign to that versus just adding another smart action?
Susan, take it away. You're much better with that part.
You mean for the thank you?
Yeah, or no, like not the thank you, but the booking ask because she's got on here booking campaign and it adds on the booking campaign to anybody that didn't already say no to
Right. So with this smart action, you can only put in one message and then you're not going to have the follow-ups with it. So you can actually just take and create the whole campaign, which starts with the first message and all the follow-ups. And that way you can also do the reply, remove on reply.
Okay, got it.
Whereas otherwise,
Yeah.
I mean, you could set it up as here's the first message and then you have the follow-up messages as the campaign. But the thing is if they replied from that first message, it would remove them for the follow-ups.
Okay, that makes
so
makes
if you put
perfect
all
sense.
the messages together as a campaign and just add the campaign is your smart action.
Yeah, I forgot about the replies.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Susan, just a quick question here. So I'm executing action for people that haven't ordered, and then I'm clicking this button, right?
No, because if you hit this send message, then you need to put a message there. You don't have a message that's going with it. You just have the campaign.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll save that. Yes. Okay. All right. Let me save it. Yes. Okay. And then Friday is just asking her about the business, which I already showed you. And then Monday is just let's wrap up your party. So I did share this campaign. So you have all the campaigns. You have all the campaigns, all the Canva links. So feel free to, use them as you choose. So not perfect, but it's getting there and it's working and it's working. That's
so we have to, if we decide, hey, this is exactly what we want to do, we want to go, you have to go to upload the project broadcast campaigns first, right? And then upload the connection point because
So it wouldn't
Oh,
be a campaign for those. It's a bundle code that has, Lorraine, did you put all of your message, all everyday template in it, or just your pre-party and project broadcast?
I'd have to check.
Okay.
I mean, even like the booking campaign.
Yeah, that's here.
Yeah,
The
but I
booking-
mean, like, yeah, so you have to upload that first
Oh
in
yeah,
order before you can do the connection point.
no, you could do either way. You would just not add the campaign until the campaign is already added in Project Broadcast, and you can go back into Connection Point, refresh, and it will bring it back in there or bring it in there.
Right.
But yes, to answer your question, Susan, this is my pre-party coaching right here.
Right. So I have it, if you want to use Project Broadcast instead of Connection Point, I do have all of the messages, all the host coaches' messages from every single day in a message template in Project Broadcast. So that way, if you decided not to go that way,
Not to go the
it's
way of
not in a campaign, you could literally go day by day. Here's day one, here's day two, here's day three, and click those messages, which is what I've been doing just to get my feel of the flow. And am I liking them? Am I not? Or whatever. So I have them all as a campaign, or not a campaign, in a bundle. So if you decide you want those, then let me know. I'm more than happy to get, or maybe did I give you that already, Tara?
I
Did I
don't
give you that the
remember.
other day? I
I
don't
think
know.
you sent me a couple. I just haven't looked.
Okay. Okay.
Would you share that, Susan? I want everything
Yeah.
on file.
Yeah,
Yes.
let me put it in, let me put it in our table think tank here.
Okay.
Or actually, yeah, do you have the document? I would just put in that document, Susan, the one we originally created.
Yes, and I put it in there too, but
Thank you.
And maybe, excuse me, maybe pin it in the
yeah.
group chat so we don't lose that.
So my images will be a little bit different coloring. Lorraine has showed you, like, she's got all the holiday. That other document that she and I worked through together has kind of a basic that we went off of the kids club coloring.
Mhm.
There's a couple different colors in there, but and the only other thing that you may notice is some of the where Lorraine had like the free pantry item on the 25 whatever, I took that off. And then I think on the take the quiz, I think I took that off of, I just a couple little things that I took out because we talked about, like Lorraine said, she needs business write-offs. I need every dollar in my pocket at the moment. So
Don't we all?
yes, exactly. So yeah, I'll stick those in here. And then Lorraine, do you want to share that document that you're showing?
Yeah, I'll put it in
Yeah.
the chat, and then I'll also add it to our original document as well.
Okay.
Thank
All right,
you.
that way it's all in there together. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So I hope you like some of it, want to use some of it. I thank you, Joe, for kind of getting our brains wrapped around this, and everyone believing in everyone, because I feel the vibe that we're all like in this together, and it's a great feeling. And I really feel like together we're onto something. And I don't know about you guys, but I just feel so much weight lifted off me. I feel like the fun is back with this table experience. Do you guys feel that way?
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
I want to say thank you guys for the quick shout out at the beginning of the call. I appreciate that, and for sure, anytime you share, I love it, and I'm glad that we're together and connected. I do want to implement everybody gets a free pan when they get 25 in the party. So I'm definitely going to implement that. So thank you, Lorraine and Susan, if y'all came up with that. But I also want, and I'm thinking we our goal is to get as many people in there, and 25 would be amazing for every table party. But with 25 people in there, I want those 25 people to invite 5 people and get 125 people in our parties. And so I want to do something to say,
Oh. Whatever you're saying,
Sorry.
I'm sure it's great, but we can't hear you at the moment.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay, so the goal is to those 25 people each to get more than that 5 that are in there. And so I want to figure out some kind of graphic, some kind of incentive for those to, for them to invite. Of course, we can say invite 5 will join, but we say invite, do you have 10 to 15 friends you'd like to invite? If so, once they join, you get a free gift or something. I think we're just, for me, the people that are in there just join, shop, and leave. But I want them to invite people who have their brand.
I don't
We
know.
lost you, Joe.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
I like that idea though.
Yeah. Let's work on that. My assistant is here in the chat with us. So I've got to run. I got to do some training with her. And she's joining us right here on this chat. So I'll end the recording here, and then I think that's a fantastic idea, Joe, and I think we should definitely work on that, because the more people in the party, the better. So let's definitely do that. So thank you so much for your call. And
Thank you.
we can chat.
Thank you guys so
Okay.
much.
All right, hang in here, Shelby. Bye-bye.
Okay, see ya.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Lorraine.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're putting your document in the SDRLR one?
No, I'm putting it in our think tank one.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna actually, hang on.
Why can I not stop this recording? Oh, here we go.